Okay, Ashley, so after your elimination last night on Survivor, you gave Ben a hug, but you did not give Devon a hug. So in other words, you felt pretty betrayed by him, didn't you?
Yeah, I was much more surprised by his decision than I was Ben's. Like Ben was to be expected. I felt like we had not been working together for quite some time, and I respected his gameplay up to that point. He didn't tell me any lies, that's for sure. As far as Devon goes, though, that was a huge blindside for me. And, yeah, I was shocked. He couldn't even look me in the eye, right before we voted. And, he did he shook his head and was just like, I was sorry. I don't know if they really show that, but he verbalized. I was like, come on, Dev, what are you going to do? And he's just like, sorry, Ash. And, my heart sunk. I was not going to hug him after that.
Right.
I mean, I forgave him by the time I reached the end of the dock. It was just like, whatever. He did what he had to do. And I trust that our friendship was real in the time out there, but it's a mind game. People mess with his mind. People mess with everyone's mind. So it's just like, you do whatever you have to do.
Mm. So take us through what it's like for you just sitting at home watching this all play out on TV. What was going through your mind?
With this final episode, you mean?
Yeah, like watching your own elimination on TV. That must have been kind of strange.
It was surreal, yeah. It was definitely strange. I watched with a pretty big group of people out at a restaurant near me, and I hadn't told anyone what was about to happen. I hadn't told my parents, nothing. So to be in a huge room full of a lot of people who had no idea what was coming, it was bizarre. I'm watching it, I know what's going to happen. I just don't know how they're going to show it or how it's going to feel when everyone looks at me. And knows that I got voted out. It's I just was kind of, I don't know, I was trying not to cry and just kind of accept it. It was this is definitely weird. Sorry guys, this is what happened. Weird.
So your relationship today with Devon is okay, right? It was just that moment when he turned on you for really not a good reason, I don't think, but that's what did it. And now you guys are okay?
Yeah, we're great. I mean, like I said, we were great. I mean, as soon as the show was all over, we were, best buddies again, back on the plane ride home. We were
Gotcha.
good. Like I said, I just think he did what he had to do. He did what I should have done, in all honesty. So.
Do you have any regrets about what happened at that reward challenge when you made it known you were not happy that Devon and Chrissy chose Ryan instead of you?
Not really as far as that goes. No, my comment about them, Chrissy took that the wrong way, but I don't really, I mean, it was honest. It was genuine, and I think Devon knew exactly where I was coming from. I was shocked that he picked them, but it shows where his head was at, that he just let Chrissy be I think we should take Ryan, and that was just perfectly fine. So it's kind of he was aiming to get back in with them. I have more of a regret that I didn't do pretty much what Devon did at the loved ones reward. When Chrissy had kind of said, hey, you're in an alliance with all these powerhouses, you should vote with us, you should come with us. But at the time, I didn't see any reason to do that, because I was in a good alliance. I had Lauren, I had Devon, and Lauren had an extra vote, and we were good to go. So I just completely put up a wall between us, and looking back on that, I could have jumped ship right there and been with the underdogs and then started to make moves that way. But, they got Devon instead.
Mm-hmm. Just a couple weeks ago, you and Devon had a Final Four deal with Lauren and Ben. You guys were all running the game, but needless to say, Lauren was voted out last week. You're voted out this week. So what's your take on what happened? Why did the Final Four split up?
Well, so we'll go back to to the reward challenge that all happened. Me, Devon, and Lauren were good to go as the three, I thought. And Lauren had her vote and whatever. So when she disclosed that information to Ben, I remember thinking, this is a big mistake. We should not be bringing Ben in on this. I don't know where her head was at in doing so. I think maybe even just the emotions of the of the reward of just us being there. She's like, well, why not? So that was an interesting move that she decided to bring him in on that. Well, it worked because we got to use him as like the double agent, as you saw. I think it started to become obvious that Ben was a much bigger threat than any of us. So when he started to catch on that we were working against him after we got him to trust us so much, I think that's pretty much what set it off. You know, Ben turning against Lauren was kind of like, well, there goes all of that. And it's funny, too, because... What's that?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it seems like what you can't really predict happening when you get into an alliance is, when it was me, Lauren, and Devon, I'm like, okay, this is a good final three. Like, I think I could beat them. And they're all thinking the same about each other. But as you work closer and closer with someone, and you start gaining more and more insight on how their mind is working and what kind of moves they're trying to make, you start to realize they're a better player than you maybe thought. So that's something that happens within alliances that makes them turn on each other, I think. From the outside, I'm like, yeah, Devon and Lauren, I'll totally beat them. But once we start talking gameplay and we start realizing that, oh, they're actually a mastermind, maybe I shouldn't be working with them, I should work against them. I think that's how an alliance can easily implode on itself.
This season's immunity challenges are absolutely being dominated by women. You won two, Ashley, and Chrissy won two. Desi and Lauren both won one. I think the only man to win so far has been Cole. So how does that how does this make you feel, knowing that you were a part of a huge female takeover of the physical aspects of the game?
Oh, I love it. And I think Survivor's done a great job in creating these challenges, that it's not just, you know, physical strength, you know, it's not where the guys are going to win or whatever. It's just like, these are physical challenges, but they're an equal playing field. And I just love that the girls came out and dominated this season. Like, I just think it's the coolest. Like, I love all of us strong girls. That's like, that's what I love to see, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I think that's awesome. I think we had some really good female contenders. Yeah. I'm super proud of that. Definitely proud of that.
What do you think was behind the tribe's decision to not follow Ben when he was going out into the woods? I think you all knew he was looking for an idol, but how come nobody tailed him?
I guess in the one scene that they show, I mean, I guess he got up before everyone else was even awake, so it's kind of hard to, like, go out into this huge island and just try to find him. I mean, yeah, we definitely should have, that's what everyone's saying, we should have followed him so that we knew, but it's just one of those things you can look at in hindsight and you can say from your couch what should be happening, but for some reason or other, it's just hard to do. It's harder to do. I guess it was somebody's shift that wasn't, somebody fell asleep on the Ben duty or something. I don't know.
Devon was sleeping that day.
Yeah.
So if you had made it to the final three, what would your pitch have been to the jury? What would you have said, you know, my best game move was this?
Well, I think that if I would have made it to final three, I would have had a couple key components, you know, winning the challenges, definitely, like being that physical, you know, that is Survivor, those challenges. It's like, come on, I've earned at least this many, you know, extra nights here just from winning these challenges. I beat you all in that way. So that's one thing that most would say if I made it with a Devon or a Mike or, you know, anyone else other than Chrissy, you know, that still remains. So I won more challenges than you. At the same time, you know, I was a part of almost every vote, other than maybe two that I can think of off the top of my head. I was in and part of the discussion, and I, you know, was never really, other than once with Alan and Joe, never really blindsided by a vote and my own, you know. But so that's a big thing that a couple other people can't really say. You know, Mike didn't have any clue who was being voted out ever. I think he was blindsided every single tribal council. So there's that, and just my relationships. I think I had a good relationship, maybe not game-wise, but I had a good friendship and relationship I can confidently say with every single person out there. And you know, it's not all about making friends, but it doesn't hurt. If I was on the final three with someone like Joe, I could be like, are you guys, yeah, maybe he played a louder game, but he also insulted the character of multiple people on the jury. So I'd have that going for me, you know?
And the flip side of that question, now that you're a jury member, what type of a game player are you looking for to cast your winning vote?
I guess just well-rounded, you know, somebody who maybe had advantages and used them well, somebody who did well in challenges and used those to their advantage and never gave up and was a hard worker at camp and just, you know, and I look at the type of person that they really are, you know, so they do a good job building friendships and bonds with people and jury management, as they call it, you know. It's just kind of, there's a whole group of things, and I could say it was not an easy decision. There was no easy decision. Because everyone that makes it to this point is obviously a good player and obviously can argue forever on why they should win, you know? So it's tough, but it's just kind of an accumulation of reasons. I can say I'm like I do a really good job of unintentionally just seeing the good in everyone. Like I hear all this stuff, like people are talking badly about this person, that person as they leave and are bitter about this and like hold grudges, and I'm just like, I never saw any of that. Like I just think everyone did a great job and like they're all good people, so it's tough for me. So I just use all kinds of different you know, reasons for my vote.
Well, Ashley, it was great to talk to you today, and the finale is just 1 week away, so we will see you at the reunion show.
Yeah, thank you. Sounds good.